Love doesn't always make a grand entrance. Sometimes it can sneak up on you unexpectedly, changing everything without fanfare. Our story begins with Elena. She's a well-known dentist in town, respected by her peers and loved by her patients. Her life is a comfortable routine until the day Isabella steps into her office. Isabella, an aspiring musician, has always struggled with shyness. Despite this, she has a vibrant spirit that shines through in her music. When Isabella first visits Elena's office, she's anxious about a looming presentation at university. Elena, sensing Isabella's nervousness, goes out of her way to put her at ease, making small talk and cracking jokes. This unexpected kindness from the dentist warms Isabella, leading to a connection neither of them anticipated. Over time, these meetings evolve into much more than just dentist-patient consultations. Elena finds herself increasingly drawn to Isabella's passion and zest for life, qualities she admires but never thought she'd find in someone so young. Isabella, in turn, admires Elena's quiet strength and the way she effortlessly connects with everyone around her. Their bond deepens, blurring the line between admiration and something more profound. But neither is prepared for how intense this feeling will become. One evening, Elena is jolted from her thoughts by a sudden wave of emotion. She realizes she wants to confess her feelings to Isabella, but fear holds her back. What if this confession changes their relationship in a way that neither of them is ready for? Days pass and Elena struggles with her decision. She seeks advice from a friend, who encourages her to follow her heart. Meanwhile, Isabella, oblivious to Elena's internal turmoil, continues to visit the dentist, unaware that she's the reason for the turmoil. Elena's inner conflict reaches a boiling point during a particularly intense session with Isabella. In a moment of heightened emotion, Elena impulsively leans in and kisses Isabella. This spontaneous kiss becomes a turning point in their relationship. It opens the floodgates of emotions, allowing both women to confront the feelings they've been suppressing. In the aftermath of the kiss, both Elena and Isabella are faced with difficult decisions. How will this confession change their relationship? Will it bring them closer or tear them apart? Join us as we explore their journey. But before we dive into their story, if you find our lesbian love stories heartwarming and relatable, show your support by liking and subscribing. Your engagement means the world to us. So let's get started. Elena's office was bustling with activity. The air buzzed with chatter and the soft whir of dental equipment. Amidst the controlled chaos, Elena found solace in the predictability of her routine. But today was different. Today, a new patient was coming in, a young woman named Isabella. Elena glanced at the file on her desk. Isabella Santos, aspiring musician. Elena smiled to herself. Music and dentistry might seem worlds apart, but she knew that creativity knew no bounds. As Isabella entered the room, Elena was struck by her quiet confidence. She sat down in the chair, her fingers nervously tracing the armrests. Elena noticed this, sensing her apprehension. "First time at the dentist?" she asked, trying to break the ice. Isabella looked up, startled. "Oh, no, quite the opposite," she replied, a hint of amusement in her voice. "I just tend to get a bit anxious. You know, the whole drill and all." Elena laughed, putting the patient at ease. "Well, I promise you'll be in good hands. No drilling today unless, of course, you want a shiny new smile." Isabella couldn't help but grin. "Actually, I do. I think I need a pick-me-up. You see, I have this big presentation at university tomorrow and my nerves are shot." Elena nodded understandingly. She knew firsthand the pressures of performance. Years of training and dedication had led her to this point. She had chosen to pursue dentistry not just because of the subject matter, but because she wanted to be at the forefront, helping people overcome their fears. The session went by smoothly. Isabella's anxiety seemed to fade away, replaced by a sense of calm. As the appointment drew to a close, Elena handed Isabella a small tube of toothpaste. "Here, use this. It's great for a quick clean." Isabella took it, a grateful smile on her face. "Thanks. I actually have a question. Do you think it's okay to brush my teeth while listening to music? My presentation's usually pretty loud and I figured it might help calm me down." Elena raised an eyebrow. "Why not? As long as you don't mind the sound of your own singing afterwards, you're good to go." They both laughed. As Isabella left the office, Elena leaned back in her chair, a thoughtful expression on her face. She realized that this wasn't just a casual patient. There was something special about Isabella, something that resonated with the dentist. In the following weeks, Isabella became a regular at Elena's office. The initial awkwardness had vanished, replaced by a comfortable camaraderie. Elena found herself looking forward to Isabella's visits, not just because of the interesting conversations, but because of the energy that the young woman brought with her. Their chats ranged from music to movies, and Elena found herself drawn to Isabella's passion and enthusiasm. At the same time, she noticed subtle changes in herself. A sudden blush, a skipped heartbeat, even a touch of jealousy when Isabella mentioned other men. Elena tried to brush aside these feelings. She was a rational person, a successful dentist. Daydreaming about a patient wasn't part of the plan. But how could she stop these feelings when Isabella had a way of sneaking into her thoughts, uninvited and undeniable? The breakthrough came during a seemingly ordinary checkup. As Elena was examining Isabella's teeth, the young woman suddenly looked up, her eyes meeting Elena's. In that brief moment, all the unspoken feelings came to the surface. Elena felt a rush of emotions, a mixture of excitement and fear. Acting on instinct, she leaned in and kissed Isabella. The kiss was soft, tentative, but it was enough to shatter the fragile barrier that had been holding Elena back. After that day, nothing was the same. The secret Elena had been hiding from herself for so long was now out in the open. But the relief of expressing her feelings was tempered by the uncertainty of how Isabella would react. The guilt was immense. Elena questioned herself, wondering if she had pushed things too far. But as the days passed, she saw no signs of animosity from Isabella. On the contrary, Isabella seemed to be as comfortable as ever around her, which only added to Elena's confusion. Had Isabella perhaps not taken the kiss as seriously as she had? Or worse, was she simply being polite? Then came the turning point. Elena was preparing for a dental conference, poring over research papers late into the night. A knock on the door startled her. There stood Isabella, a bouquet of sunflowers in her hands. "For you," she said softly. I thought you might need some cheering up. You looked really tired." Elena's heart melted. This wasn't just about the flowers or the gesture. It was about the silent understanding between them. Isabella knew her better than anyone else, even her closest friends. Over the next few weeks, their relationship deepened. Late-night study sessions turned into dinner dates, which led to weekend getaways. Elena found herself falling in love, not just attracted, but deeply in love with Isabella. The music student who had initially walked into her office with a guitar case was now a significant part of her life. They were a study in contrasts, the reserved dentist and the free-spirited musician, but somehow it worked. However, as their relationship grew more serious, Elena knew she had to come clean. She couldn't bear the thought of losing Isabella, not when they had built something so special. So she came clean about her feelings. She confessed everything, her fears, her doubts, and ultimately her love. And what happened next surprised her. Isabella's response was immediate and heartfelt. "I love you too, Lena." The weight of those words hit Elena like a wave. In that moment, she realized she wasn't just in love with a patient. She had found something rare and precious, a love that had blossomed in the most unexpected of places. In the quiet of her office, surrounded by the tools of her trade, Elena had found a melody that resonated with her soul, a love song played out by the steady beat of two hearts finding each other. Elena and Isabella's love story reminds us that love knows no boundaries. It can bloom in the most unexpected corners, transforming lives and touching hearts.